Imagine this. You're running a thriving restaurant. Customers are lining up, everything's perfect. Then overnight, a global pandemic hits, and suddenly you can't seat a single person inside. What do? Shut down and hope for the best? Or do what thousands of smart business owners did and pivot faster than a basketball player dodging a defender? Today we're going deep into the art of business pivoting, and by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap for turning chaos into your competitive advantage. Now before we jump in, let's be honest about something. The word pivot gets thrown around more than a frisbee at a college campus these days. Everyone's pivoting. Your neighbor's dog-walking business is pivoting. Your cousin's Etsy shop is pivoting. But here's the thing most people miss. There's a massive difference between randomly changing direction and strategically pivoting with purpose. Think of pivoting like being a ship captain in a storm. You don't just spin the wheel wildly hoping to find calm waters. You use your instruments, read the weather patterns, and make calculated course corrections. That's exactly what we're going to teach you today. Let's start with what a pivot actually means. At its core, a business pivot is a fundamental change in your business model, target market, or core offering, while leveraging your existing resources and capabilities. It's not starting from scratch. It's reshaping what you already have into something more aligned with current market demands. The restaurant example we opened with? That's not hypothetical. During the pandemic, restaurants that survived didn't just hope indoor dining would return. They pivoted to delivery, meal kits, grocery services, and outdoor experiences. Some even became cooking schools offering virtual classes. They took their core asset, which was food expertise, and found new ways to deliver value. But pivots aren't just pandemic responses. Netflix started as a DVD by mail service and pivoted to streaming, then to content creation. Twitter began as a podcast platform before becoming the social media giant we know today. Amazon started selling books and pivoted into everything from cloud computing to space exploration. Each of these companies recognized changing market conditions and adapted accordingly. So what triggers a successful pivot? There are typically 5 key warning signs that it might be time to consider changing direction. First, your core market is shrinking or disappearing entirely. Second, customer acquisition costs are rising, while customer lifetime value is declining. Third, you're consistently struggling to meet revenue targets despite strong execution. Fourth, new technologies or competitors are making your current model obsolete. And fifth, regulatory changes are threatening your business foundation. Here's where many entrepreneurs make their first mistake. They see these warning signs and panic. They make emotional decisions rather than strategic ones. We've seen businesses completely abandon profitable segments because of one bad quarter, or chase every new trend, without considering if it aligns with their core strengths. The key to successful pivoting starts with understanding what we call your pivot foundation. This consists of 3 core elements: your existing capabilities, your customer relationships, and your brand equity. Think of these as your non-negotiable assets that should influence any pivot decision. Let's look at a real example. When Slack was struggling as a gaming company called TinySpec, they didn't throw everything away and start fresh. They noticed that the internal communication tool they'd built for their gaming team was actually more valuable than the game itself. They pivoted by leveraging their technical capabilities and deep understanding of team collaboration pain points. They didn't abandon their foundation, they redirected it. Now, let's talk about the different types of pivots you might consider. The customer segment pivot involves keeping your solution but targeting a different market. Zoom initially focused on enterprise customers, but pivoted to include consumers, especially during remote work trends. The problem pivot means keeping your target market, but solving a different problem for them. Instagram started as Bourbon, a location-based check-in app, but pivoted to focus solely on photo sharing when they noticed that was the most engaging feature. The solution pivot involves keeping the problem and market, but changing how you solve it. Many software companies have pivoted from desktop applications to cloud-based solutions, while serving the same customers and solving the same problems. The revenue model pivot changes how you make money without changing the product or market. Adobe pivoted from selling software licenses to subscription-based services, dramatically improving their recurring revenue. If you're finding value in this content and want to master not just pivoting, but all aspects of business optimization, make sure to hit that like button right now and subscribe to our channel. We're constantly sharing strategies that help entrepreneurs build businesses that run themselves. Trust us, your future self will thank you for subscribing today. The timing of your pivot is crucial. Pivot too early, and you might abandon something that just needed more time to develop. Pivot too late, and you risk running out of resources or market opportunity. The sweet spot is what we call strategic urgency, where you have enough data to make an informed decision, but enough runway to execute the change effectively. Here's a framework we use to evaluate pivot timing. First, collect and analyze at least 3 months of consistent data, showing the trend isn't temporary. Second, conduct customer interviews to understand if the problem is with your execution or market fit. Third, assess your financial runway and determine how long you have to execute a pivot successfully. Fourth, evaluate competitive landscape changes and whether waiting might mean missing the opportunity entirely. One of our favorite pivot success stories involves a company that started as a traditional accounting firm. When they noticed clients constantly asking for help with business operations beyond just numbers, they gradually pivoted to become operational consultants. They kept their financial expertise as a foundation, but expanded to help businesses streamline processes, improve efficiency, and scale operations. Today, they're more profitable and impactful than they ever were as just accountants. The execution phase of pivoting requires what we call controlled experimentation. Don't flip a switch and completely change everything overnight. Instead, run small tests, measure results, and gradually shift resources toward what's working. This approach minimizes risk while maximizing learning opportunities. Consider a marketing agency that noticed their clients asking more about automation and less about traditional advertising. Instead of immediately becoming an automation company, they started offering automation audits as an additional service. When those audits became their most requested and profitable offering, they gradually shifted their entire business model. The transition took 8 months, but they maintained revenue throughout the process. Communication during a pivot is absolutely critical. Your team, customers, and stakeholders need to understand not just what's changing, but why it's changing and how it benefits them. Be transparent about challenges while remaining confident about the future direction. Mixed messages during pivots can destroy trust and make execution nearly impossible. Here's something most business guides won't tell you. Failed pivots are incredibly valuable learning experiences. Not every pivot will work, and that's perfectly normal. The key is failing fast and cheap, then applying those lessons to your next attempt. Some of today's most successful companies went through multiple pivots before finding their winning formula. Document everything during your pivot process. What assumptions were you testing? What metrics were you tracking? What worked and what didn't? This documentation becomes invaluable for future strategic decisions and can help you recognize patterns in market changes. The most successful pivots we've observed share 3 common characteristics. They're based on genuine market insights rather than assumptions. They leverage existing strengths rather than requiring completely new capabilities. And they're executed with clear timelines and measurable milestones rather than open-ended experimentation. As we wrap up, remember that pivoting isn't about admitting failure. It's about demonstrating strategic flexibility. In today's rapidly changing business environment, the ability to pivot effectively might be the most important skill you can develop as an entrepreneur. Ready to take your pivot skills to the next level? We're offering you a free book that shows you how to achieve operational excellence in any business model. This book will show you how to systematically identify and eliminate friction points that slow down your business operations, making any pivot smoother and more successful. Click the link in the description below to get your free copy delivered directly to your inbox. But here's where things get really exciting. If you want the complete roadmap for building a business that runs itself, whether you're pivoting or growing your current model, click on the video that appears next or check out the link in our description. Our comprehensive course shows small to medium-sized business owners exactly how to set up systems and processes that free them from day-to-day operations. Imagine running your business instead of your business running you. That transformation starts with one click.